Does the world feel explosive to you right now? Or, and I've been thinking about this a lot, does it just feel exhausted?
That's a really good question.
We're doing a deep dive today into a set of documents called Mapping America's Structural Integrity by Dorothy W. Parker. And if you've been feeling like things are, brittle,
Right.
this is going to put a name to that feeling.
It really does. It offers a totally different lens on what we usually think of as collapse.
Yeah.
The core premise Parker puts forward is that systemic failure isn't driven by some external attack or, loud chaos. It's driven by withdrawal.
Withdrawal. So that brings us to the key term here, structural integrity. She's not talking about actual bridges.
Oh, no. It's a metaphor. She's using it for our institutions.
Yeah.
Law, politics, even medicine.
Okay.
The argument is that these structures, they're still standing, but they're becoming hollow. They're operating on repetition, on enforcement, not on actual shared belief.
So they look solid, but the inside is thinning out.
Exactly. The human consent that holds it all up is just evaporating.
Yeah. So our mission today is to figure out why things feel so fragile. And Parker gets really specific. I mean, she breaks down this withdrawal into actual percentage thresholds. It's almost like a medical chart.
It really is. And they're fascinating. At the bottom, say 10 to 15% withdrawal. The system can handle that.
That's just the fringe.
That's the fringe, yeah.
Yeah.
Every society has its dropouts. It's fine.
But then, of course, the numbers tick up. What happens when you hit that 20-25% rate?
Okay, that's where you start to see what she calls strain. The system can't ignore the exit anymore.
Right.
So this is where enforcement gets heavier. Social stigma increases. The system is trying to shame people back into participating because it feels that loss of energy.
So it gets aggressive because it's getting weaker. It's scared.
Precisely. And if that doesn't work, and you hit, say, 30 to 40%,
that's the danger zone.
That's where legitimacy fractures. Leaders get louder, things get more polarized. And Parker argues that once you cross that 40% mark, it's over. Coordination just breaks down.
And you can't restore it.
I can't. There's no shared meaning left to restore.
That's a chilling thought, that you can't just vote harder to fix it. What really got me, though, is how she describes the nature of the collapse. It's not what you see in movies.
No, not at all. She calls it private and cumulative.
Private and cumulative.
Which means it happens when individuals just quietly stop. They stop supplying their belief, their labor, their compliance. It's not a protest.
It's a private exit. You don't storm the castle. You just stop showing up to fix the walls.
Exactly. Which leads us to maybe the heaviest part of the document, this idea of engineered majorities.
Right. She's really challenging the idea that a majority is just, 51% of the people.
She is. And to be clear, she's describing this as a kind of political technology. Parker argues that majorities have to be engineered using what she calls attachment strategies.
And historically.
Historically, the document cites whiteness as a primary tool for that. Not just as an identity, but as a political strategy to bundle authority and create a reliable majority coalition.
So it was like a glue.
A kind of glue, yes. But her point is that as that specific glue loses its binding power, the system is frantically trying to find a new one.
Switching to ideology or moral framing?
Right. Trying to engineer a new majority because the old way isn't working.
Yeah.
And this connects directly to what she calls the volume paradox.
Let me see if I'm getting this. She says stability requires volume, but she means volume as in mass, like lots of people participating.
Yes, participation density. But when that density drops, when fewer people are buying in, the system compensates with the other kind of volume.
Noise.
Moral emergencies, constant outrage, stricter enforcement.
So all the yelling we see every day, the constant state of crisis, that's not a sign of strength.
According to Parker, it's the opposite. It's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of legitimacy loss. If the structure were sound, you would need to scream.
The noise is just filling the hollow space where belief used to be.
Wow.
Okay, so if we accept that, how do we fix it?
Well, this is where the text gets pretty bleak. Parker argues you don't.
You don't fix it.
You can't. You can't rebuild legitimacy with people who have already, in their own minds, unsigned the social contract. All that persuasion, the shaming.
It didn't work.
It fails because it assumes an attachment that just isn't there anymore. You can't convince someone to care about a game they've already decided to stop playing.
We're not waiting for a collapse. We're living in the aftermath of one that's already happened, just quietly.
And that leads to her final point on participation density. She reminds us that participation is never neutral. Your attention, your silence, your compliance.
They're all energy inputs.
They're the fuel. And that's the real provocative thought we want to leave you with. Parker essentially asks you to do an audit.
An audit of your own participation. Ask yourself, where are you lending your energy, your attention, or even just your silence? Purely out of habit and not out of actual consent.
Because according to this map, that quiet, private withdrawal isn't a passive act. It's the most powerful force changing the world right now. It's not about what you shout.
It's about what you stop carrying. Thanks for diving in with us.